I am so excited for Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I think it's going to be an amazing game. It's developed by Saber Interactive, the same developers who made World War Z and Insurgency Sandstorm. Basically, Space Marine 2 invites players to embody the super hammering skill and brutality of a Space Marine from Warhammer 40k, and you get to obliterate tons of hordes of different types of enemies. Obviously, this developer knows how to do horde games, with World War Z being a zombie horde game, and with the Warhammer 40k setting, you'll get to use a ton of awesome weapons. So it sounds like an absolute ton of fun. It releases on September 9th, but technically you can get access on September 5th if you pay like 20 or 30 extra dollars, which I severely dislike this in the industry, but it seems to be more and more popular, paying to get a few days head start on everyone else, especially in co-op and PvP games. So moving on to what the game has, game mode wise, it has a story campaign where you get to fight the Tyranids as a Space Marine. His name is Dimitri and Titus, who is a member of the Ultramarines chapter of Space Marines, and basically Titus was wrongly accused of corruption, and while he's being instated, he was demoted to a rank of lieutenant, and he will be accompanied by two battle brothers. And this can be played either solo or online co-op, so obviously they can take the place of the other two brothers. So you can have up to 3 players co-op for the campaign, which sounds like a ton of fun. So grab your 2 best friends and kick out that 4th one that you don't play with when you play Apex Legends, and definitely test out this game. So basically, it says you can get up to 12 hours of action-packed adventure in the story. Usually, these are overestimates. I'd say, it's probably closer to 8 or 10 hours, but it still looks like it's going to be a great campaign. I mean, 8 to 10 hours is relatively respectable, especially for a game that has multiple game modes. So they also say that they will have PvE and PvE game modes that have endless customization and replayability. That's probably a little bit of an overstatement, but it probably will be fun as well. They say you get to play as one of 6 classes: Tactical, Assault, Vanguard, Bulwark, Sniper, and Heavy. I can already assure you that the majority of people will be picking Sniper, and it definitely won't be as good as the other classes. That's just what people do. They always pick the Sniper in games like this, so just get ready for that. But honestly, I think that any of those classes sound really cool, though you can assume that Heavy is going to be a tank, but Tactical, Assault, and Vanguard, who knows what those are going to be. Bulwark will probably be tanky as well. But it says you can customize your Space Marines and their weapons with huge selection of cosmetic options and skills with every new mission you play. That sounds really nice. I hope that you unlock them in a progression just to keep the game fresh, and hopefully they really add in some good progression here so that there's a lot of replayability. So they said that the operations mode, which is a co-op of up to 3 players, it sounds a lot like Warhammer Darktide, if any of y'all have played that. But basically their description is that you use armory data and experience earned on the battlefield to upgrade each class with 25 perks to shape your playstyle. Armory data will also let you level up your weapons with each new mission to unlock more powerful variants and unique cosmetics. So that does sound like there will be cosmetics in this game, and no doubt they'll sell them as well. Hopefully that some of the cosmetics that you unlock just from playing the game will look pretty cool as well, given that this game is already a $60 experience. There are also 4 levels of threat available. You can play with minimal, average, substantial, and ruthless. I do hope that the harder the level of threat you play on, the better rewards you get, because otherwise it incentivizes you to play on the minimal difficulty until you've unlocked everything. So moving on to their PvP battles, is called Eternal War. It says epic 6v6 battles, so that sounds great. 6v6 seems to be a good number for PvP. It says experience the 6v6 multiplayer action beloved by players of the first Space Marine game through 3 separate modes: Annihilation, Seize Ground, and Capture and Control. I'd assume that Annihilation is probably just a deathmatch, seeing how many of the enemies that you can kill at the same time. Seize Ground sounds like King of the Hill most likely, and then Capture and Control is probably Capture the Flag, I can assume, though it's not quite clear. But honestly, great game modes. It gives you an objective to do instead of just killing. Usually I think that games like this, when they have an objective, is generally better, just because if you have games where it's just killing, sometimes that can turn into sort of campy stuff like that. So basically you get to play as the Adeptus Astartes and fight for the glory of the Imperium, or join the Heretic Astartes to bear the colors of the Chaos as a Night Lord, a World Eater, or an Iron Warrior, and more. So it sounds like you're gonna be playing, Adeptus Astartes versus Chaos, which sounds very awesome. And I'll definitely be trying to pick Chaos if I can, because that sounds great. And it says armor and weapons and cosmetics earned in operations will be available in the Eternal War matches as well. I do wonder if you unlock stuff by playing the Eternal War matches. I hope you do. Either that or they can have ranked, and that would be a ton of fun as well. I'm sure people can get quite competitive with that. So moving on, they actually have some gameplay tips here so that you can know how to play the game more effectively. You can use the escape menu to learn more about combos and movesets that are available with your equipped weapons. Each weapon has their own combo and moveset, which sounds very, very cool, especially with the wide variety of weapons that they can add from the Warhammer 40k universe. There are a number of things they could do, and I really hope that there is a good depth of weapons that there are, because they have so many to choose from and they could really make them look cool. From what I've seen, the animations look absolutely amazing, the visuals look great in this game, and it seems to run pretty well on most people's rigs as well. So I'm really excited to see how it does on launch. I mean, technically launches on September 9th, but realistically the actual launch is on September 5th. So I had to sneeze there. So they say you can time your parries when you see a light blue circle coming at you, and this is important because performing a perfect parry will knock back your enemies and open them up to more damage and even kill the weakest of them. You can also beware of red circles, as these mean that you cannot parry the attack and should look to dodge instead. So pretty standard action combat there. Make use of your Righteous Furious Titus. So for a short while, this ability grants you increased damage output and regenerates your health. Use it wisely, as its cooldown is fairly long. So there's the other battle brother, Chiron, can use his Aspect Scan to highlight enemies and make them more vulnerable to incoming damage. And Gadriel. See, I want to say Galadriel, but it's definitely not, as Gadriel. So Gadriel, I don't know. Can knock back and inflict damage to enemies thanks to his battle cry. So it sounds like the different battle brothers will have different abilities they can use. I don't know if you'll be able to choose which one you can play, but I'd assume, like, if you're playing 3-person co-op, it's probably one of each. So then they say you can explore the levels, you can get health stems, ammunition, grenades, and a number of other things throughout the levels. You can find them by hitting boxes and breaking them open. So then they have a short Q&A as well. So they say, how's the game connected to the original Warhammer 40k Space Marine game? And the game is set nearly 200 years after the events of the first game, and those events being they ended up with Lieutenant Titus being arrested by the Inquisition, and in this game he's been cleared of his wrongdoing. So then they said that basically you don't need to know about the first game to enjoy this game. It's a completely fresh experience. And then moving on to a season pass. Of course, these are the season pass. You can't have a game nowadays without having a season pass. They say that the Space Marine 2 season pass will bring more cosmetics inspired by Space Marine chapters that are dear to the Warhammer 40k community. All gameplay additions, new missions, new enemies, or new weapons will be given to free to all players. That's good. Honestly, for most games, I'll take that nowadays. With how monetized everything has gone, this seems to be not too predatory. Obviously, I wish that there weren't in-game monetization, but basically all live service games have it nowadays, so at least it's only cosmetic. So they say for the Eternal War PvP mode only... So cross-plat will... Warhammer 40k be cross-platform from day one, and they say that it will be. However, for the PvP mode, cross-platform will be split between PC and consoles. That is wonderful, because PC players will complain about aim assist and console players will complain about PC players having an advantage. So just splitting them is a great way of doing that. I do wonder how their anti-cheat's going to be, especially in PvP. Cheaters can be a big issue. It seems to be less of an issue in arena games, just because it seems to be easier to catch people hacking, but especially in like extraction shooters, cheaters are definitely a big issue right now. So hopefully their anti-cheat in this game is good as well. So anyways, they have a couple mentions about why them creating World War Z made it easy for them to make this game, just because there's hundreds of enemies in this game, and with World War Z they had their swarm engine, so this allowed them to make the Tyranid hordes pretty easily, which honestly makes a ton of sense. I think that this game is going to be absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to get my hands on it in like 3 or 4 days time. It should be a ton of fun. There will be Twitch drops for the people who care about cosmetics when it drops, so Basically, this said Space Marine 2 is almost out. For the release of the game, they partnered with Twitch and many streamers to reward you with exclusive content. From September 4th until September 30th, you may earn up to 2 skins simply by watching Space Marine content on any Twitch channel, and an additional 1 by watching a VIP partner. So it looks like there is a bolt gun here, a chain sword, another sort of bolt gun, or maybe one's a las blaster, and then a gauntlet. So anyways, to receive the drops, you need to link your Twitch and a pros account, which is sort of weird. I've never seen pros before, but apparently that's how they're doing drops. And, you know, if you just look on the Steam page, it'll have links to those. And then, anyways, they give a description of the different cosmetics. So the Porphyr Shield Chainsword, the Porphyr Shield Bolt Rifle, the Shield Power Fist, and yeah. Oh yeah, and if you support a streamer, you can get an exclusive pistol skin if you gift a minimum of 2 subscriptions, which I've actually never seen before. I've never seen you having to gift subscriptions to get skins, so that's very interesting. I think that's new, honestly. I've never heard of having to pay stuff to get different Twitch drops. But anyways, that is the different things for Space Marine 2. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sort of experimenting here and seeing, testing out releasing videos about games before they're released just to see how they do. So anyways, if you enjoyed, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.